Top 10 Best Manhwa or Manga or Manhua that keeps you hooked from the start. Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 best manhwa and manga that will keep you hooked from the start. These manhwa novels have captivated audiences with their compelling storylines, relatable characters, and stunning artwork. From action-packed thrillers to heartwarming romance, this series has something for everyone. So sit back, relax, and join us as we count down the must-read comics of all time. So, let's get started. Starting off with our number 10, Holy Idol, a series that will take you on an epic journey through different worlds. Introducing Rembreri, the deputy of God loved by all and the holy high priest. When Rembreri wakes up, he finds himself in the middle of the battle against the demon king who invaded his world. But to his surprise, he wakes up as an underrated idol in Korea. Will he be able to safely adjust to the idol life and return to his original world? To be completely honest, this series is pretty decent. The art is amazing, but the plot is just okay. The plot isn't the strongest point of the series, but it still keeps you engaged. It may not be the most exciting or thrilling series, but it is still worth reading. Overall, I would recommend this series for those who are looking for a light-hearted read with great art. Keep reading to see how the plot develops and blossoms. Number 9. Night on the Heart. Introducing Real Online, a VR-based MMORPG that takes high school senior Yushin Lee on a wild ride. Yushin is selected to beta test the game but soon finds himself trapped in a seemingly endless loop, forced to fight for his life in a dark fantasy world created by a mysterious tech company with uncertain motives. What was supposed to be a light distraction from the stress of high school life becomes a desperate struggle for survival. This manhwa is definitely better than most VR manhwas out there. The art is fabulous. The artist did a wonderful job of portraying on the ongoing war in a magnificent way. The characters are also well written, but the pacing is a bit slow and can become tedious for some readers. The loop aspect where the main character dies and gets resurrected at the starting point also gets dull after a while. The story of this series is a unique and thrilling one, but it also has its weak points. The slow pacing and the loop aspect can be a downside for some readers, but if you're a fan of VR and fantasy story, this manhwa is definitely worth checking out. Number 8. I Just Want to Game in Peace. This series will take you on an epic journey through different dimensions. Introducing Realms of the Game, a story about a man who must risk his blood to survive in a game that has become all too real. A dimensional storm has hit Earth, and strange realms have appeared everywhere. Immortals, gods, demons, angels, elves, and many other creatures from the other dimensions have come to the Earth, and all of these mysterious realms have become dungeons in a mobile game. While others risk their life to venture into these realms, our main character just plays the game like crazy. This manhwa has a unique story with a main character who has a cheat Android phone that allows him to level up in real life if he level ups in the games inside the phone. This concept is executed very well in this manhwa. The art is also well refined and the fight scenes are well transitioned. The main character has a cool guy type of personality and the world building is done pretty well. The only downside is that the chapters can be a bit short. Number 7. Isakai Deti ni Iretasei-san skill wa sakyu datayu desu. Our MC, an ordinary salaryman who is sent to another world after dying on his own. Unlike other isekai novels where the main character decides to be a hero or a demon lord, Coco doesn't care for any type of that. The isekai system rewards his lack of choice with several powers which have never been seen before. The ability to store items in a limitless inventory, immediately dismantle them into materials, and then use them to create something new. This manga starts off just as every other isekai manga, but after some chapters, the real plot is revealed and the story becomes much better. The art of this manga is generic, but it becomes a bit better during fighting scenes. The main character is overpowered from the start and has a very upright and cheerful personality. If you're a fan of isekai stories with a different twist, this manga is definitely worth checking out. The unique powers and the plot that develops as the story goes on make for an enjoyable read. Just keep in mind that the art is not the best, but it is decent. Number 6. Return of the Mad Demon. Return of the Mad Demon, a story about Jahali, who dreams of becoming the god of martial arts. Unfortunately, Jaha's dreams are dashed after he falls off a cliff while running from the demonic cult after stealing the Jade of Heaven. But this is not the end for Jaha, as he awakens from the fall to find himself back in his 20s with his knowledge of the future and of martial arts. He now has a chance at revenge and at getting life right this time. This is an absolute beast of a Muri manhwa. The main character is overpowered from the start and he is also very ruthless, but the best thing about him is that he is not a simp and acts randomly at some times based on his instincts. The side characters are also written very well, and the conversation between the main characters and the side characters are always entertaining. The art of this manhwa is also top-notch with a lot of cool fighting scenes and some conquer the world type elements. This is an absolute gold manhwa that everyone needs to try at least once. The story, characters, art, and the unique concept make this manhwa a must-read for anyone who loves martial arts and action stories. Moving on to our number 5, Motosaikyu no Kenshi wa Isakai Maho ni Akokoreru. Soma, who was once branded as an incompetent person, but in fact he was the strongest swordsman. The swordsman ended his life after fighting the strongest Dragon King. Just before his death, he longed for using magic, and the Dragon King accepted his wish and got him to reincarnate into another world with magic. However, this time the boy Soma is branded as incompetent person. The boy who was once called the strongest swordsman and was admired as sword god aims for the old glories with his potency. The main character Soma is overpowered in every aspect. He is the easygoing type and calm in every situation. However, the downside of the story is that the climaxes are rather anticlimactic due to the fact that the main character is so overpowered and the story reads as expected often. If you are a fan of an overpowered main characters and enjoy fantasy stories with reincarnation elements, this manhwa might be for you, but be prepared for some anticlimactic moments. Number 4. The story of a low-rank soldier becoming a monarch. This series will take you on an epic journey through the medieval times. Introducing Reborn as a 15-year-old rookie, a story about a man named Chris who loses his right hand on the battlefield at the age of 15. He masters the skills necessary for his survival and becomes the weather-worn mercenary, but he is always told to give up and live like everybody else. When he loses his left hand and falls off a cliff at the age of 39, he discovers an artifact that allows him to reborn as a 15-year-old rookie. He must start from the scratch, but with the knowledge and skills he acquired in his previous life. The story is great, and it's refreshing to see a manga with a medieval and kingdom storyline instead of the usual sex or modern ones. The main character is likable, and the supporting characters are alright. The art is also pretty good, and overall it's a 9 out of 10 for this manhwa. I would still recommend it to those who enjoy medieval fantasy stories with elements of reincarnation and action. Number 3. The Demon King's Champion. Introducing the Demon King's Champion, a story about a hardcore gamer named 75 who finds himself reborn inside his favorite game after dying of a heart attack. Unequipped and lacking the skills to survive on his own, 75 uses his smarts to convince Devo, the Demon King, to take him under his wing. He is now on an epic quest to help the Demon King stay in power by leveling up and conquering all his enemies. If he doesn't, this might just be his last life. This is one of the most underrated manhwa I ever read. The story is unique and interesting, and the idea of being reborn in a game and having to level up to survive is really captivating. The art style may not be the best out there, but it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment of the story. I would definitely recommend this manhwa to those who enjoy gaming and fantasy stories with elements of rebirth and adventure. Number 2. Shadowhack. Introducing Shadowhack, a story about Lee Yunmu, who by chance found a super host from the dark age of mankind. Since then, hardships has entered his life. He has no qualifications and no talents, but his shadow can level up in reality. Experience, internal power, combat skill proficiency, all can be won. He is gifted. Rich and powerful families? Watch him hang up and practice and step on it to his feet. This manhwa is a generic system manhwa and the novel was way better. It doesn't have much to say about it. The story is not as interesting as other manhwa and the art is not very good. If you're a fan of system manhwa, you might give it a try, but be aware that the story and the art are not so good as the novel. And finally, number 1. I Grow Stronger by Eating. I Grow Stronger by Eating, a story about a man known as Pet Shop who has the unique ability to absorb the skills and the creatures he eats. One day, Pet Shop is mysteriously transported to a magical world full of orcs, trolls, and monsters. A new world, new chow, and new skills. Now, Pet Shop is determined to become the most powerful creature in the world and follow his epic climb to the top of the food chain. This manhwa is a definite must-read for those who love fantasy, isekai, overpowered MC, person in a strange world, and villain genres. The immense depth in the story and its extensively explored characters are impressive, as these types of qualities are rarely seen in manhwa series today. The manhwa also explores how the system works, its abilities, etc., which is a higher order to step to be rated as a higher-tiered manhwa. Even if the title seems generic, you must read this manhwa. It will completely astonish you with its brilliance and originality. Well, that's all for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed our video of the top 10 best manhwa, manga, and manhwa that will keep you hooked from the start. From fantasy and action to isekai and gaming, there is something for everyone in this list. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos and recommendations on the latest and greatest in the world of manga and manhwa. Leave a comment down below with your favorite series from the list, or if we missed any of that you think should be included. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.